What up, people? Push a Wild Black here with Push a Wild Black Sports, and this is the Bears Ravens vlog. Bears win 27-24. I honestly didn't expect that to happen. I figured the Ravens would figure out how to beat the Bears, and their offense was better, which it really wasn't. What almost killed the Bears was the special teams. They had a punt return for a score, and they had a kick return for a score, and then it was field goals. So I didn't know that the offense of the Ravens was going to play that bad. It was both teams. They ran the ball well, and they tried to control the game with running the ball. So actually, Jordan Howard had a really good game because they pounded the ball with him. I still feel like they don't really want to do that, but this was a situation where they didn't want to put a lot of pressure on Mr. Trubisky because they only asked him to throw like 16 times, and he completed 8 of the 16 passes. But they actually handed the ball off to Jordan Howard. Let's see. He had 36 attempts for 167 yards. And he played, and Cohen had 32 yards on his 14 attempts. So it was it wasn't balanced, but the offense was very run intensive. So Trubisky was basically, let's not throw interceptions, let's control the ball. And there was a fumble on his end where it didn't really cost them anything. Like, it was a fumble. They got the ball back. The Ravens got the ball back, but it wasn't really a costly turnover for them. They got to figure out how to throw the ball down the field, because even though Howard ran for 167 yards and he was able to wear down the line of Baltimore, the offensive line of Baltimore isn't that good anyway, and at some point you're going to have to throw the ball down the field. I don't know. Every time I try to figure out how their passing game is going to be, how the Bears' passing game is going to be, the deep threat or the targets change. Like Kendall Wright, he ended up making a heck of a catch in the closing seconds of overtime, because they almost gave this game away to get it to overtime. The Bears did. Not the defense, but the special teams. But Kendall Wright needs to be, they stopped throwing the ball to him. Like when Glennon was quarterback, he was their top receiver next to Cohen, and only because Cohen could get yards after catch. Wright was their main receiver, and now I guess they're trying to figure out, Trubisky's trying to figure out who his main receiver is. And it seems to be probably Sims, or they're going to try to get Tanner Gentry involved. He was targeted twice early, but he doesn't have any separation. So they have to figure out a way for Tanner Gentry. If Tanner Gentry is going to be part of the offense, they got to figure out a way to get him open in the offense. But it was an interesting game. I'm not going to say it was really all that good. Defense saved their butts this game, and Trubisky's mobile ability saved the Bears too, because one of those two errant snaps that Trubisky caught in the end zone, one was blown dead because of a penalty, and one was actually kept alive. If Glennon was under center, that would have been a safety. But Trubisky had enough athletic ability to get out of the way of the rush and throw the ball away. It was a lot of, I don't want to say one read, but it was a lot of like, okay, if I don't see my main option, then I'm going to throw the ball away, which is smart. You know, it's his one turnover was a fumble. His one turnover was a fumble that was recovered by the Ravens. So it wasn't like him doing a lot of dumb decisions. And even his interception last game against the the Vikings, you had a Pro Bowler defending Zach Miller, and he tried to thread the needle. So I'm not gonna blame that on him. So if they're going to continue to, or they're going to have the best chance to win, it's going to look really, really boring. But I would say run the ball. The problem with running the ball, though, as much as they did today, if you don't have any deep, if they stop the run, which teams have been able to do, because it's not like they haven't been trying to start the run, but it seems like to me there's kind of want to get the home run ball with the running game instead of the whole plotting. Let's get Jordan Howard to be the workhorse. Let's get him into let's get him into a rhythm. I was gonna say lather, but couldn't get it out. Let's get him into a rhythm. Let's see if he can wear down the defensive line on the other team, and let's open up for play action. I didn't really see a lot of play action here, and a lot of times getting him into a rhythm in a lot of games has been hard because two reasons. And this really is, the second reason isn't their fault, but the first reason is they're keying into Jordan Howard. Like they were keying into him today, but it didn't matter because that was their only option to run the ball, and it wasn't like they were playing from behind either, where they had to. So it wasn't like they were playing from behind and they had to throw the ball. It was kind of like, okay, we got the lead. We're going to control the ball. We're going to make sure no one makes mistakes or anything. So it didn't matter if they were keying into him. They just pounded the ball in. The second reason, which really isn't, which I've been hearing locally here, is the whole Tariq Cohen factor. Now, a lot of people are saying that like you can't really get Jordan Howard into a rhythm because it's like he runs the ball for 3 downs or for 2 downs, and then Cohen's in there, and no one can get into a rhythm. Well, Cohen is a playmaker, and you can't really. They figured out how to guard him coming out of the backfield or as being a pass catching option, like Durande Barber was like mentioned it today. He was saying they figured the offense out, or that wrinkle of the offense out, to where he's going to be targeted as soon as he lines up in the backfield, or as soon as he's in the game in certain positions. They know they're going to throw the ball. So I don't know who their best bet offensively is in the passing game. I know they want to stretch the field, but it seems like they still don't have a separating receiver yet. And I think they need to employ some of the things that they tried to employ with Glennon, with Trubisky. I know that he has the arm, but Aaron Rodgers just injured his collarbone. So you have Aaron Rodgers and the Vikings 4-2, and then we're 2-4. The Bears are 2-4, and I'm not sure about the Lions, but everybody's kind of, with Rodgers being out. I'm not saying that the Bears have a shot here, but the division's up for grabs. So it depends on what people want to do here. Like, do you just want to develop the kid and see what happens? Or do you want to try to win? I still think that they need to figure out how to pass, how to get the ball down the field at some point. Because what happened today and what's going to happen and what's been happening is, by running the ball down the field, to me, they'll target Jordan Howard. They've already kind of figured out Tariq Cohen, and it's like, okay, how are you going to get the ball down the field? And defensively, they played very well, and they actually got a takeaway off of a very nice hit, and interception. It was good bracket coverage by the Bears, really. And but that was their first takeaway as a reception, as an interception. So they're going to target the running game, and they're going to make you throw the ball down the field. Now, with Mr. Trubisky, I think you have a better option because he can move around and he can get out of pressure situations. But when the running game isn't working, how is your and the defense is tired because they've been out on the field too long? What are you going to do to generate offense? Like, it's a miracle we won that game because special teams dropped the ball twice. And there were 2 fumbles. Penalties weren't necessarily a problem, but penalties have been the problem throughout the season. Penalties weren't the problem this game, but there were 2 turnovers, and there was 2 special teams lapses that led to touchdowns. So they didn't play perfect. Baltimore just played worse. So what are you going to do as far as how to generate offense when situations like today happen where the defense played well enough to keep them in the game, but special teams and turnovers almost cost them the game? So it was a good win, though. They didn't ask Mr. Trubisky to do very much, which is good. I still think they need to figure out something. They need to employ some of the things that they did with Glennon, with him, just as far as getting Kendall Wright involved and getting more of the mid game, the middle passing game involved. But it was a good game. Like, it was definitely exciting. It wasn't. The special teams needs work. Like, stop somebody, please tackle. Like the tackling on special teams to me seems very, very suspect. But that's my thoughts on the matter. Go Bears, and I will see you guys next week. Later.